What is going on, Tentacrew? My name is Billy the Squid, and today I want to go through the Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin Trial 2, my final thoughts on the game, go through the survey, and kind of just give my overview on what they've improved on from the first trial to this trial, and what still needs work on moving forward. This trial was actually outstanding. It was very, very well done. I have very few gripes to say about it compared to what I did with the original trial. A lot of the issues I had with the original trial were very much fixed in this version of the game. So we're going to go through, we're going to see what the survey says, and I'm going to give my thoughts as we run through all of this, because I think this game is definitely something that people should keep on their radar, because I think it's going to be very, very, very good and catch a lot of people by surprise. How did you feel overall about my experience playing as a whole? I'm very satisfied. This game is like the perfect Souls to Final Fantasy blend. They did a lot of things well that I'll get to later into the video, but there are very few gripes that I had. PS5, I tend to play on a hard. How far through the main mission did you get? We went through every single thing, including the side mission. That's not an option here, so we'll just do completed. The refren wastes. That's such a hard fucking word. How satisfied with the Chaos Shrine? Very satisfied. Very satisfied. Both levels very well done. Chaos Shrine, a perfect intro to the game. If that's the way the game starts, then it is going to be the perfect introduction to kind of get people indoctrinated into what they're going for with this. It also introduces us to all the characters. Very good set piece for that. The Refren Wastes was a very neat area. I'm actually going to go back and do a partial satisfied on Refren Wastes. The only thing that I think they could have improved on with the Refren Wastes is made it so that there were more secret stuff to do with the weather change mechanic. I think that's a really, really cool mechanic on how it shapes the map and stuff. They could have went an extra step further for it. There is one instance in that where there's a chest in the middle of like a little, like almost peninsulaed off area surrounded by water, and I thought for sure if I went back when it was raining, something would hop out and fight me, like a Super Sahagin or something like that. Maybe some sort of like tentacle beast would come out. Billy the Squid makes his own appearance, you know, but it did not. I felt like that was a wasted opportunity. They could have done something really cool there. That being said, what they did have with that area, very good regardless. I enjoyed it quite a bit. How far through the side mission did you get? We completed the side mission. Very difficult, by the way, on hard. Having to fight 2 bosses in a row, no resets or anything like that. Doing everything pretty well perfect, given the time to die in this game is super high. How satisfied overall with the side mission? I am satisfied. They didn't have every single enemy in the game up to that point available. They had all but the skeletons, I believe, oddly enough. But it was good. I think it was a little unoriginal just having it be like a gauntlet style thing. I know that it's a side mission. It's not supposed to be like super original like the other ones, but I guess I was expecting a little bit more. Not completely dissatisfied, though. It was still a very good side mission and gave a good challenge. Graphics and environment, they overhauled so much. There's still a few things that need to be worked on. The character models and equipment all look amazing. Visuals and atmosphere. The Chaos Shrine, they really, really upped it. There's still a few graphical fidelity things that I think they need to work on with their skyboxes, but it was a big upgrade from the previous one. Level design and game mechanics of the Chaos Shrine. Level design's fine. It was the same thing I did the first time. Was very happy with it then, very happy with it now. Visuals and atmosphere of the Refren Wastes. It was good. I feel like a little bit too much sun, a little bit too much rain during those segments. Also, I feel like, again, the skyboxes. You walk onto this one area and Neon's like, wow, would you look at that view? And I'm like, yeah, look at all those pixels. So definitely some stuff they can improve. It's all fine polish at that point, though. The level itself was very, very good. Level design and game mechanics, again, 10 out of 10. It was a very fun level. I like areas that force you to backtrack into your old save points instead of just like lining a straight shot with save points. I liked it looping around on itself a bit. That was fun. I hope more levels do that. All right, abilities and systems. How satisfied were you with actions and abilities available? Very. Overall battle, very. Break gauge, very. Soul burst, very. Lightbringer, I'm gonna go ahead and put didn't use it for no particular reason. Lightbringer is one of those mechanics where I understand that it's very good. I understand the benefits to it, and I just don't remember to do it or don't feel like it's worth burning a bar for. Same thing with using Flare and Holy on the white and black mage respectively. Burning bars just doesn't seem like a worth scenario, so I don't do it very often. Very and very for the last few things. The resonance system is really cool. I like how if you keep bombarding with the same element, you will eventually break somebody of that element and make it do even more. Which jobs that I think were easy to use or most fun to use? Oddly enough, Lance is a really, really good time, and the one-handed sword is a really, really good time. Those would probably be my two favorites. They're all solid, honestly, with, I think, Mace probably being the most lackluster, but they all offer very unique gameplay experiences. I'm actually going to click everything besides the Mace, just because the Mace isn't meant to be, like, relied on heavily. So, as far as the basic jobs go, Sword Fighters, big top skis, Mage, just because of the nature of casting. And I honestly had a lot of fun with Duelist, so those are the three we're going to go there. As far as advanced jobs, Warrior is ridiculous, just being able to do pretty well anything with any weapon type that you have. Black Mage and White Mage were very refreshing, and we will go with Thief. I was a little disappointed with Red Mage and its selection of abilities. I felt like having the limited amount of spells. I would have rather had a Black Mage and then say a Knight, for instance. Which did you feel were difficult to use? Again, if I can get this to actually do what I want it to do. There we go. As far as difficulty of use, none of them are particularly hard to use. I feel like they all have their pros and cons. The Mace, again, is one of the more difficult things to actively, like, engage with, but it's fine. Difficulty-wise, Mage is very, like, hit or miss. I guess they never miss, huh? I'm going to go ahead and do all the Mage classes just because the nature of the game. They made it so that your co-op allies will pull aggro a lot more. Even then, it's still hard sometimes to get those casts off, but they're still, I think they're plenty fine. I think they need that risk and reward, or else it would be too easy. But as far as difficulty goes, the mages are definitely your more difficult varieties to get use out of. But when you do, boy howdy. Were there any weapons that you didn't use for no particular reason? Nah, I used them all, baby. They were great. Everything was great. I guess if I have to pick one, I probably spent the least amount of time on the monk, just because by the time that I unlocked it, I didn't have a lot of time with it. So if I had to pick one, monk would probably be the one. Progression system is good. They need more. I think they need a master tier of job, and I'm going to get into that in a later video on how I think they're going to improve this game moving into the final version. Were you satisfied with the hack and slash loot based gameplay? Yeah, Neo had good gameplay in that regard. I feel like this does as well. It gives another form of progression other than just levels, so that's nice. How do you feel about balancing of your enjoyment of combat with minor enemies in the Chaos Shrine? All the enemies are great. I really, really felt like it was all good. Just right. Very satisfied all the way around, honestly. They nailed the amount of encounters with the amount of enemies. I never felt like I was overwhelmed. In the original version, by the way that the co-op allies didn't really draw aggro and didn't really help that much, it was a bit overwhelming. But now that they're actually, like, set up in a way to be beneficial, it was perfect. Audio, okay. I'll just go satisfied on that. The music's good. The voice acting is cringe in the best kind of ways. Nothing out of the ballpark with it, but it is very, very passable. And I would even dare to say above passable. Amount of info on screen during battle, just right. Menu screams too much. The menus are overwhelming. They are very hard to navigate. I still think they need to tweak the UI with the menuing, but that's just me. Tutorials are basic, but they get the job done. Info just right. They didn't overwhelm you with every single little thing. They gave you enough info to get you going, and then you kind of figure things out on your own. That's the way a tutorial should be, in my opinion. It shouldn't spoon feed you every single mechanic. Yes, we did play the multiplayer. That's on a video coming up here soon, too. And it is a good time. Satisfied with multiplayer feature, very. The difficulty of multiplayer, very. UI with the multiplayer feature, it's meh. I'm gonna go with the satisfied just because it wasn't horrible. It didn't take away from anything, but it could have been better. On the one thing that I have an issue with this game about is it would be the time to die in this game. And it's an issue I had with Neo, and it's probably just a me problem. But playing on the harder difficulties, I felt like the time to die was a little too high. It could just be the playstyle that I have. I'm putting myself in bad positions. It's very much most likely a me problem. But I felt like hard had too high of a time to die, where I was dying before I was able to learn about what was actually going on in some situations, or getting broke was an instant death sentence. Whereas going down to normal difficulty, everything was a cakewalk, everything was a breeze. I didn't have too much issues there. So a little bit of a balancing on the difficulty factor, but the hard mode and the time to die issues are probably a me thing. And that is all she wrote. I'm not going to pain you guys with me going through and filling out like the additional comments of this. But what I will say is definitely keep this on y'all's radar. This game is going to be coming out here in March. It's not being talked about enough. Final Fantasy doesn't skimp around with its main games. It doesn't skimp around with its spin-offs. Final Fantasy Tactics is an amazing spin-off to the Final Fantasy games, and I think this has its own place amongst that. It's being very much slept on, and I hope when it comes out, it really hits it out of the park. People are going to be hyped up for Elden Ring. They have a few months to play Elden Ring, and then it's going to lead right into this, and then pow! Smack them right on the ass. But until March comes around, we will be talking more about this and other Souls-likes on this channel, so don't forget to subscribe, like the video if you like the video. Until then, though, Tentacrew, much love. Bye-bye.